Hello kings and queens, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Art of Life and Love. This is an extension of my wellness and creative writing blog, also called The Art of Life and Love. I'll put a link to that down below so you can check out my articles and poetry on there. My name is Joanna, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about self-love and how I've been learning to love myself this year, the steps I've been putting in place to show myself more love and more acceptance, and hopefully just giving you guys some tips so you can kind of implement some of this stuff, see if it works for you. You are the number one most important person in your life. You need to act accordingly, and you need to look after yourself. It is very easy in this go-getter society, in this people-pleasing society, looking at the whole instead of the individual kind of society. It's very easy to lose yourself, to lose sight of who you are. It's very easy to start putting other people in front of your needs, their needs in front of your needs. And so basically, these are the kinds of things that help me stay grounded, help me stay within this bubble of self-love, whilst at the same time not pushing people away. So one of the first kind of things I started to do in order to accept myself and appreciate myself and love myself is to let go of limiting self-beliefs. So now I've talked to you guys in the past about self-fulfilling prophecies. I've talked to you about negative self-talk and, limiting yourself. But this is something that I've really had to work on this year and really let go of, this kind of mentality of this is what I can achieve and I can't go higher than this, or this is who I am and I can't change and I'm not going to change for anybody, or this is how smart I am, this is how people perceive me because of my weight, because of my hair, because of the color of my skin. These are all self-limiting beliefs. If you believe that people are perceiving you in a certain way, if you believe certain negative things about yourself and you're constantly talking openly about those things, if you stop trying, which is a really, really big one for me, and I still have to overcome that at certain points, if you stop trying because you believe that you are not good enough, then that is a self-limiting belief. You are good enough, you are smart, you are going to achieve everything that you want to achieve. And that's the kind of things I've had to start believing in myself. I've had to start actually believing in myself. Stop setting limitations for myself. Stop saying I can't do this, can't do that. I'm this way, I'm that way, I'm unchangeable, etc. This year has taught me that things can change like that. And, that includes me. That includes my personality. My whole personality has changed since the beginning of this year, because of what's happened to me, but also because of how I've handled what's happened to me. The fact that I've chosen to rise above what's happened to me. Second thing, take care of yourself physically. Like, genuinely take care of yourself. There's no point being like, I love myself, but you haven't bathed in a week. Or I love myself, but you are literally stuffing your face with chocolate every single day. You don't love yourself. You love chocolate more than you love yourself. And I'm so guilty of this. Then I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where you're like craving chocolate, you're like craving it. And then you go and you get it and you come back and you eat it, and then you're just sitting there like, that didn't feel good. That didn't feel good because it's not good for you. So in order to love yourself, you need to treat your body like you love it. You need to look after your amazing voluptuous looks. You need to take care of your skin. You need to take care of your digestive system. That's like your second brain, they're saying now. Like, your gut has more influence over your body and your emotions and everything like that, and the way you function has more control over you than your actual brain does. Because, we've all been hangry. We all know exactly how being hangry can affect your mood. That's proof. You need to look after your gut. You need to be putting the right things in there. Self-care also means, like, I give myself hugs when I feel lonely. I give myself amazing bubble baths. You guys will hear me talk about bubble baths like every single video because I love them. I use like Epsom salts and incense and like massive bubble baths are my self-care go-to, and you may have your own one. Yours may be bubble baths, yours may be a walk in nature. Whatever is your self-care go-to, make sure you're doing that at least once a week. Like I've mentioned before, but in my phone calendar I have self-care Sunday, just scheduled in every Sunday. It's like blocking out the whole day, self-care Sunday. Just make sure that I'm looking after myself at least on that one day. And that means that when you are in like the lowest depths of your depressive episodes, you will still get that reminder to look after yourself at least one day a week. Self-care also means, you know, getting regular exercise, eating well, taking care of your physical so that you can focus on your mental and your spiritual as well. So the third thing, kind of meshed with the fourth point, is, you know, having boundaries. You know, you do need to have a clear set of boundaries, both with yourself and with others. So boundaries with yourself includes, you know, I'm not going to look at my phone before bed or first thing in the morning. It can be, you know, if I feel tired and I don't want to go out, I'm not going to go out, even if someone has invited me to something like 2 months ago. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm not okay, I'm not going. Those sorts of boundaries that preserve yourself, preserve, you know, your energy, preserve your emotions. But this also leads into my fourth point in terms of self-care, and that is to compromise. So I know I've spoken a lot about boundaries and having, you know, boundaries that protect yourself and things like that. And I stand by that. You should always have boundaries. You should be able to say no. You should always put yourself first. However, if you go too far left, you know how you have the parties, you have left wing, you have right wing, you have center. You know, like the left, where I am, that's great. It's a great place to be. We care, you know, we care about people. If you go too far less, you're an extremist. And I think there are extreme levels to boundaries. Like, so you need to be able to compromise in order to keep the loved ones around you. Because, you know, if people love and respect you and that they've shown that they love and respect you constantly, then you constantly turning them down in the sake of self-care and boundaries and things like that, you will lose them. And if you're okay with losing them, that's your business. Do your thing. But if you want people in your life, then you have to be someone that other people want to be around. You know? For example, I really hate talking on the phone. However, my best friend in the whole wide world is currently not in the country with me. She is in India. She's been in India for a while now. She actually has her own travel blog, so I will put a link to that down below as well. Hi, Sophia. You're welcome. But I hate talking on the phone. However, if I was the type of person to be like, no, my boundary is I don't talk on the phone, it really drains me, then I would never get to talk to my best friend. We would only ever get to text and voice note, and that's not nice of me, because I know that she really likes talking on the phone. I know that she is quite isolated at the moment, and I know that she really enjoys the contact that we have when we have phone calls. So I compromise. I compromise because I love her. I feel like if you compromise, then people are more likely to accept you when you say no. If I never answered the phone and I always told my friend no, then that's very difficult for her to accept, because I'm putting my own needs in front of hers every single time. Whereas if you compromise and you say, you know, sometimes I'm answering the phone, sometimes I will stick to text, depending on how I am mentally on the day, at the moment, whatever, then because I've said yes several times and I've already, you know, put her first several times, then she is much more receptive and acceptive when I say no. I understand that some people have to do that, like at certain points in their life. I understand that, you know, if you've been through a lot and you've, you know, struggled to get to the place where you are now, in this place of peace, and you are determined to protect this place of peace at all costs, fair enough, you do you, I can't tell you what to do. However, you need to be aware of the fact that if you can't compromise and if you are setting hard boundaries, you will push people away. I can't remember what number I am at, but my next point is discipline. So that's a fun word. Discipline. You need to discipline yourself in order to love yourself. For example, if you have children, you know full well that in order to raise them to be amazing human beings and to be accepted members of society, you need to discipline your children. You cannot let them run amok. You cannot let them do whatever they want whenever they want it. You cannot always let them have their way. And you will raise much better human beings for that. And it's the same with yourself. If you love yourself, if you truly love yourself, it means that you want the best for yourself, which means that sometimes you're going to have to discipline yourself. it means that sometimes you're going to have to say no to that chocolate bar. No. You need to discipline yourself. And that can take many forms. It can be, setting hard routines. So, you can have a set morning routine where you wake up, you drink water, you don't look at social media until you've been awake for like an hour or two. Maybe you meditate, whatever. Discipline can also be, removing yourself from toxic situations, toxic environments, toxic people. It may be cutting cords with people who are draining you. It can take many different forms, but as long as you are disciplining yourself to better yourself, then that is a form of self-love. So my last point today is about affirmations versus negative speak. So another way that I've been learning to love myself is to actually verbally tell myself that I love me, and say things that, big me up, that support me. If you had a friend who was going through a really hard time, you would give them a pep talk. So what are you doing sitting around moping? Like, you've come through so much, you've healed so well, look at you, you're gorgeous, you're amazing, you're all of these things. It's so easy to give other people pep talks because you can see their worth and because you love them. However, it is very difficult to sit in front of a mirror and say those things to yourself, or even to write them down. It's really difficult to write things like, I'm amazing, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent. It doesn't feel right. You kind of say it and you're like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Sounds conceited. It's because it's quite difficult to gas yourself. It's quite difficult to big yourself up. It's quite difficult to sit down and say really nice things to yourself. But it's really easy to sit there and be like, oh, I'm a fat piece of nonsense, or, oh, look at you greedy bitch, or, or be like, oh, no, there's no point going for that job, you don't have the experience. Like, it's things like that. All this negative self-talk, it goes back to the self-limitations. If you're talking negatively about yourself, then you are limiting yourself. And if you limit yourself, then you won't be able to achieve anything. You just won't. You can't sit there and be like, oh, I'm no good for nothing, I'm no good for no one, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm never going to do this, blah, 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 and then go out there and do those things. It's very contradictory. So you need to learn to say positive affirmations to yourself, write them down, have reminders. There are loads of apps and stuff where you can, they set reminders for affirmations, or they'll just appear in your bar and you can just say them out loud. Like, words are so powerful. And if you're speaking negatively over yourself, it's going to be detrimental for you. It's going to bring you down. Whereas if you are speaking positively about yourself, I love to, like, there's lots of posts and stuff that love to be like, your spirit doesn't know the difference between when you're joking and when you're not. And I don't know if I agree with that, but it's something that I've seen quite a bit, so I thought I'd share it. But it may be true. Like, if you're constantly, like, in a jokey way, being like, oh, I'm a fat piece of nonsense and no one's ever gonna love me, and you say that enough times in a jokey way, that it will settle upon you, those words, because our words have so much power. And I think that is something our generation doesn't seem to realize or take on board. Your words are so powerful. So please do not speak negatively over yourself, or anyone else for that matter. Please try to engage in positive affirmations, daily affirmations, even if you just say one nice thing about yourself a day. Basically, love yourself. And once you love yourself, that confidence will shine through. That will shine through, and I can't wait to see that for yourself. I see too many young girls and guys, embroiled in self-doubt and self-constraints and negative talk, who don't believe in themselves. You need to believe in yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to look after yourself. Rant over. That is it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so appreciative of all your continued support. I just like to say, I've got 50 subscribers now, which is amazing, and I'm just really happy. Like, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate you. You guys are keeping me going this year, like being able to release all of this stuff that's happened to me and kind of help other people. And so many people have reached out to me and been like, your videos are so helpful. They seem to always say the exact thing that I need to hear, so I'm really happy about that, and I'm enjoying it. I'm increasing in confidence, I'm increasing in joy and self-love and things like that, and I feel like I'm documenting my glow up. I feel like that's enough positive self-talk for today. I'm just so glowy. But thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw today, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Don't know what happened with my accent just then. If you could go ahead and press that subscribe button and that bell icon to get notifications of when I release my videos every Tuesday, that would be amazing. I hope you all have a amazing mental health week. I love you. Thank you so much for your support. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.